Hey nerds, I am examining and reviewing Ishana Shyamalan's new film, The Watchers, starting now. Welcome back to the Nerd Social. I'm Nathan. So, I am very behind on reviewing this. I saw this at a press screening in the middle of last week, but I got a little busy with my other job. This came out last weekend to not so great reviews. I will get into whether or not I agree with this 32% a little bit later when I get into the review. But this film is the directorial debut of, as I was saying at the beginning, Ishana Shyamalan, who is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Her feature debut. She's worked as a second unit director in some of his productions in the past. So, the spoiler-free logline for this movie is, in a vast, untouched wilderness of Western Ireland, Mina, a young artist, finds herself trapped in a mysterious shelter with three strangers. As night falls, they are stalked by unseen creatures, turning their refuge into a prison of paranoia and fear. This is, like I said, directed by M. Night's daughter. Depending on how you feel about his work, could be a good thing or a bad thing, or depending on how you feel about nepotism, could be a good thing or a bad thing. M. Night has had a spotty record with critics, but I think there are some passionate fans of his style. He's definitely one of the few original directors out there right now, still doing original movies instead of franchise films, whether or not they're hits or misses. And this film by Ishana is actually based upon a novel, which is probably a good place to start. I think she's actually a pretty competent director when it comes to some of the visuals. I think that she definitely has some potential, but there are some issues with the film that I will discuss a little bit more when we get into the analysis. But before we do that, let's get into the cast. The aforementioned artist is Mina, is played by Dakota Fanning, known for lots of different things. She's known more recently for The Alienist, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but she was a child star, of course. She plays the role well and with some nuance, and some of the issues that I have with the film is some of the things they have her say and some of the ways that they have her act because of the script, which I have a little bit of an issue with. So we also have Georgina Campbell, who portrays Sarah, one of the residents of the cabin. Georgina was in the 2022 film Barbarian, which honestly was a much better film than this film. She has a film called Tim. She also doesn't get a lot to do in this, but what she's allowed to do, she does add to the film. Owen Fourier plays Madeline. She's another resident of the cabin. She's the older resident. She, of course, is known for her performances in The Northman and Mandy. Relative newcomer Oliver Finnegan plays Daniel. He is known from Outlander. He played Lord William as a child. So, The Watcher utilizes the natural beauty of Ireland in the film. I think that Ishana does a good job of using the landscape and the woods and the naturalistic environment to her advantage. The cinematography is beautiful in this film. It's by Eli Arison. He skillfully captures the environment. The production design is also pretty good. Federico Murphy is the production designer. I would also say the CGI, if I'm speaking about the production design and the creature design, is actually pretty cool. The use of CGI when you actually get to see who the Watchers are was very well employed. And also the sound design is also very creepy, and it's a crucial element of the film, and it's done very well.
It's a window on the other side. Mina, take a step forward. Go ahead. It's all right.
What is that? What are they doing?
Applause. A welcome to the show.
The film integrates Irish folklore, enriching the narrative and deepening the sense of history in place. I did feel that they maybe explained a little bit too much. Sometimes when you have a film like this one, there is a supernatural element. The unexplained adds to the mystery and also the kind of the spell that the movie cast on you. And I think there was probably 2 or 3 times this movie could have ended before they continued on with additional explanations of things. The performances, as I mentioned earlier, are pretty good given the script.
Do not turn your back to the mirror. Do not open the door after dark. Do not go near the burrows. Always stay in the light.
It's important to remember that we are in their territory. The Watchers allow us to live because we follow their rules.
Dakota Fanning plays a very vulnerable protagonist, but it's like the sort of cliche vulnerable protagonist with a dark past that she's trying to overcome or run from, and that's common in these sort of horror films. There's also some pacing issues in some parts of this movie. This movie, I think, is only like an hour and 40 minutes, and it dragged more than some movies that I've watched this year that are 3 hours long, especially in the middle. But besides those main issues, it's definitely a commendable first effort. I think that with a better script and some tightening up of the edit, this definitely could have been a better film and a better debut for Ishana. But she definitely has the potential here, and I think that if I'm going to give this movie a rating, it earns a solid dinner party or 7 on our rating scale. A film that will appeal to horror enthusiasts and general audience alike, perfect for discussion and dissection over dinner with friends. Might have some flaws and you may not have to go and see it in the theater. It's definitely something that you might want to catch on streaming when it comes to streaming down the line. And like I said, even with those flaws, it does have some strengths that make it interesting and dinner party conversation worthy. So since I'm behind on my review, have you seen The Watchers yet? What did you think? Were you gripped by the suspense, or did you find the pacing a bit off or it a bit lacking? Drop your thoughts and comments down below. And if you enjoyed the review, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more analysis like this. And I will see you in the next one. All right, guys. Bye.